Welcome, welcome to Stoke Your Creative Fires Summit. We are so excited to interview so many amazing people, artists, creators, comedians, singers, movement artists, and so much more. And today we are interviewing dreamy Reem Abdou. And she is an amazing artist, alchemist. I just want to say how excited we are to have you. We're going to just
Are you ready?
introduce. Are we ready?
Fangirling! Woo! 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 This is our fangirl moment. Joy, we lost you. Your movement. You go slower. Woo!
All right. We had to go all
We want
out.
to warm you up with a little fangirling with our fans, our iridescent fans.
There are those moments when you just have to go for it. And I am so excited to talk about you and what you're doing. And I'm going to go right into your bio, which is amazing. And there's words in here that I've never heard before. So I'm being educated by the generation to come that is coming now.
That's for sure.
Dreamy is a sonic project of Reem Abdou. Is a genre-bending world fusion sound artist. What is this word? Ethnomusicologist?
Ethnomusicologist.
I need to learn what that is. You're going to tell me. Okay. Mindful movement and meditation teacher, conscious community catalyst. You are the founder of New York City-based music, arts, wellness, environmental, and social justice movement, the Collective Bay, and the co-founder of Base Yoga. As an indigenous Egyptian artist, your sound is an organic electronica and international transnational communication of soul vibration, global rhythms, earthy basslines, natural atmospheres, forgotten instruments, traditional ancestral voices, tribal invocations, ancient sounds, and future beats made for remembering and envisioning, together inspired by the healing metaphysical power of sound. Your journeys are unexpected, fusing and layering the tempos and the cultural wisdom because they're meant for primal and meditative movement, a deep sense of exploration, liberated expression, and conscious awareness.
Woo!
So, I mean, wow, you make music, you use music as a portal, you create experiences, and so there's so much to dive into.
When I was more than anything interested in representing and amplifying women's voices, and that's still true. But the female body was incredibly important to me, the way in which it was represented and supported and empowered. And then that evolved into the energetic representations and energetic balance in the creative spaces and what it meant to amplify feminine energy and hold feminine energy. And then it became simply about the earth energy and the earth transmission. And they're all just reflections and fractals of the same source code. So now it's just about being able to hold a space that's not so accessible or well represented in the mainstream creative world, which is just a conscious embodiment and a compassionate presence.
And how long have you been on this journey?
Oh, the journey's been my whole life, but doing this work for nearly a decade, little more.
And did you start making music, or did you start with creating experiences of music?
I started just with facilitating spaces. I was guiding movement and meditation and realizing how powerful the music was for me. I come from a musical family. My mother is a singer from Egypt. She's a classical and a current contemporary singer. So it was always me, but it was not an industry I wanted to enter because of its disconnection, integration. But I was making and listening to these incredible playlists that had me moving on my mat and meditating deeper than I ever was. And so the study of like music's power and sound's power then was just its own portal into what was possible just for my healing. And then to share that is everything now.
This is so beautiful. Can you speak to that? Because one of the things we're asking everybody is how they have healed or what came up for healing that perpetuated the creation of this of this art that you do, and it's so beautiful the way you speak about it. And I know I created my work in order to heal on so many levels, all the stuff, and it continues. Just today we did some ancestral healing work, and every day is different, but the initial reason was to come from my own healing. And I'd love to hear if you're willing to share what that was for you that brought you to this place.
I love how lightly you ask this very deep question. Just casually. Yeah, it's like exactly what you said. There are so many layers and levels of healing. There's the ancestral healing, there's the body healing, there's the heart healing, there's the healing with our relations, there's the healing, our disconnection with the earth and her
Mm,
medicine. So many layers and levels. And what sound and movement do is create these portals, these containers for encountering all these dimensions at once, because you are traveling through a journey. Sound is really time made musical, and you are able to explore all the ways in which
mm,
you have been disconnected from your essence, and then to embody them now, to bring those etheric, metaphysical, multidimensional healings into form, into the way that feels in my body, in my wrist, in my hand, in my neck, on my back, in my belly, in my womb. That is that is the work.
mm. We're 100% with you. So
Yes, you know.
Yeah, and
yeah,
I
this.
I, I think that what you're talking about is as a portal, um, and using music as a medicine, using all of these things, bringing it to the people. Today, when we're in the middle of a teacher training, and one thing that we were able to talk about was where are we with the work right now?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that came up for me is looking over the 10, 11 years with this work is that it brought me to myself, and it took back the layers,
Mm,
and it took me to the essence and the creativity, not what anybody puts on us, not what anybody tells us, not what I have created as a model, but it takes me to the one that's beyond all of the masks, the layers. And that's what music and movement do. And
mm,
then it opens up that channel that I can feel my life force, my creativity. And because we share similar modalities in a way, I'm curious to hear what that's on the other side for you, to see people come into that awakened self.
mm,
Mm. Oh, it's everything. It's why I do what I do. It is the ultimate affirmation, and it is a mirror, like I said, for me. So every time I see someone unlock a little bit of their
mm,
creativity, unleash, free, unfold, unfurl, it does that for me. And I realize when I do that for me and people feel that, it does that for them. And we do that for each other.
Mm,
I
And so
love
it's
that.
not about healing anyone or taking anyone anywhere they don't want to or are not
yeah.
ready to go, but it's about me always being in my healing process every time I am holding a space.
Yes.
Every time
Oh,
we are going on
totally.
the journey together, I'm not like here and you're here. It's like we're here, and how can we rise together and co-create the space together, co-create the music, the sound, you as an instrument, you as also an artist with me in the space, a co-creator.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I love what you said about sound is time made musical. It's like
Yeah.
that just. So I do a lot of work with music. I'm obsessed with music. It's my life. And when you talk about it, that phrase was so powerful. I'm definitely going to remember that. So as one of my takeaways is like Dreamy knows what music does, because it is a portal, just like movement. It just transports you into a timelessness that sometimes can't even believe that an hour has gone by, and been it's been 2 minutes in my mind and we're still
Right.
moving, right? um I love that. And still I'm going to aim deeper and say, so what brought you to the initial, like what was the thing where you said, like what was for me, I'll share with me. So for me, I grew up in a particular perfectionistic culture, and I was all like, I had so much hatred of the self. I was literally full of self-hatred, and I just adopted it from the culture, from my family of origin. You know, everybody had it. You know, my sisters, I think my mom too, but we didn't really. I didn't get it until years later. But and I walked around pretty much disembodied in my early. I feel like I came to the work young. I started when I was 23. I had my first big epiphany of movement, but like I really was not a well person. Like, you know, I drank, I smoked, I did, you know, drugs, not like the good, you know, plant medicines of today that I'm exploring, you know, other altered states with. But, you know, I was really hiding from being alive. You know, and that's why I came to the dance floor. It made me alive. And I know what you're talking about. When you see people come alive, it's like the greatest feeling in the world. So once I came alive, I could no longer go back. So then I was like, I got to do something with this, you know? So,
Totally.
I mean, I had like eating disorders. I mean, all these weird, you know, things that happened in my very particular, you know, upbringing. And just the like, I feel like you are a culture shifter, and it's time. Like, I was talking to some people just today about how depression is from disconnection. Depression is from disconnection and isolation. So will you speak a little bit more about, you know, how you came to it, and then what you see? Because I feel like you're a visionary and it's beautiful, and I'd love to hear.
Well, I think it's beautiful what you said about the disconnection from the body. I think that is kind of like a particular experience of women, and that's an ancestral experience. We've been disconnected from our bodies and shamed from our bodies, and that's not ancestral. That's contemporary. That's current. That's
Yes.
everything in every magazine, news. You know, everything. Everything. Our culture is based on the subservience of women. That's how it was built. That's just how it's built. Our society and our culture.
Yes. Agreed.
And then we have all the variations of culture that have their own toxicities, and most every culture on this planet contains that toxicity towards women and towards body in general. Um, I think it's because, you know, it's all that's why we need more time to talk about this, because it's not one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is ever one thing. There's an infinite, intricate web of interconnection between every and all things.
Mm.
And so, if I'm talking about the body, I'm talking about the mind, I'm talking about the spirit, I'm talking
Mm.
about the earth, we're talking about the food, we're talking about class and everything. We're talking about taxes, and we're talking about, you know, education. We're talking about everything.
Yes.
And so, it's not one thing. And I think there was just a point of like, it's something inexplicable where it's like, we are the ones that we have been destined for. That means that we are the generation, no matter what generation you are in and what age you are, is that where we've just reached a boiling point, and we are here to, like you said, shift the culture. No matter how we do it, whatever our modality or methodology is, because we are tired of the disconnection, and it does not serve us anymore. It's disintegrated and it's failing in all of the systems of our living, from the earth to our education to our health. So it just was, you know, in many ways, it's like it wasn't anything that I did. It's just kind of like an awakening and an acceptance to our destiny now.
Mm.
It's time to shift and to re embody and to reconnect and to reactivate and to renourish and regenerate.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I am so glad. I'm so excited for you because, you know, you're going to change the world.
We are changing the
Yeah,
world
we are changing the world right now.
right
But
now.
I just
Absolutely.
love meeting people that are so much younger than me changing the world. It makes me so happy.
But really, the age thing is really an interesting thing, because I don't, you know, I'm sure you don't know my age, but it's not something I forget my age, because
Yes. Me too.
you must forget your age.
I do all the time.
You must, because we live in a society in which there is so much subconscious schema
Yes. Oh,
around what we are able and allowed to do because of our age.
totally.
It is one of the, like, it is like such a wet damp cloth on the creative fire,
Ooh.
you know. Whereas, like, if I'm moving from that place of like timelessness and destiny,
Mm.
and understanding that I am like infinite reincarnations and I will be infinitely reincarnated, that truth that matter is not destroyed, right?
Hmm.
Or energy is not destroyed,
Yes.
then I can move with more limitlessness, and my creativity can flow more strongly, because I'm not thinking, oh, I'm in my 50s or 60s, time for me to slow down. I'm moving with the rhythm of my life. Like Joy was saying earlier before we got on, like, you just got back from the waters, you're feeling this rhythm and tempo of the water, like that's your rhythm. That has nothing to do with your energy, that has everything to do with the elemental, energy that you are working
Mm.
now. And if we all move that way, what could be possible about how we create and tune in on time with our creative energy?
Yeah, yeah.
I love that you use the word limitlessness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I really, I feel what you're saying so beautifully. Oh my goodness. And it's very inspiring. Thank you. Because I'm like, all right, she spoke directly to me right there.
Limitlessness. That's been really the vibe. I
Yes.
think that's been the vibrational energy that I've been tuning and tapping into lately, and just really kind of combing and teasing through my subconscious and seeing where there are
Mm.
limitations, and they
Mm.
could be modest and small. Like, I don't have enough time in the interview, and it's just not true. We just spanned, like, everything just
Yeah.
now within one sentence. Like when you say this bio is really long, and then you say music is a port, sound is a portal. You did that. You compressed and expanded all things, and that's us tapping into our infinite creative power. We are not limited by time or language or space. We generate that
Mm.
vibration.
I love that you are talking about the way things happen and bringing it all together. And I'm just gonna just say it plainly. The thing though, this is what I've learned, and I'm curious. You can go here. Is that creativity usually follows a necessity.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Okay, it's like you tap into something. What I have found is that it is a tool. It is a tool, and all of its variations. And
Mm.
we have this, the angst to art, the idea. We use that as a tagline in JourneyDance and the programs we do, and it is so right on. If I don't have my angst, my art is different. My art is just more vibrant, powerful, explosive. And we're living in a time of great angst. And
Mm.
we're just seeing so much explosive art, powerful, vibrant within all the other, the calm, the eye of the storm. We got to have that too. But I am very curious to hear about what in your world. You just came back from Burning Man. You are a festival person. You go around the world. And what are you seeing with that idea of the creativity explosion? There's so much angst.
Yeah,
There's so much power right now.
yeah,
How is it being alchemized?
yeah. Well, I think you get the full range. I'd never been to Burning Man before, and it was really interesting to see it as a microcosm of the world. Like artists from around the world, nearly 100,000 people, 80,000 people, and a full range of expression, the highest possible, architectural design and creative output, and also like the most base level expression. And it's all sacred.
Mm. Mm.
I think we get to choose, what we need.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the art is explosive and alchemical and transformational and powerful. Some of it is, or it can be powerful. Some of it is soft and mundane and simple. Something as like simple as like, I don't know, just like even the way in which, this is a deeper conversation, but I think there's something you said earlier that was actually much more interesting to me than Burning Man, which is like, the energy of the moment right now, and it being extremely explosive and powerful, this fire energy.
Yes.
And I love that the summit is called Stoke Your Creative Fire. And, I'm in the Grass Valley, California area, like near Nevada, in Nevada City now, actually. And they just had a series, this whole area, Oregon, Northern California, just had
Mm-hmm.
again, like in the last few years that's been happening, these wildfires that have been decimating communities and habitats
Mm.
and eating the earth. And then in the last few days, we've had some powerful rain come. But when I first landed here, like right after Burning Man, the air quality was at the absolute maximum. Like the fires were spreading, the smoke was
Oof.
tangible and thick in the air.
Mm.
And this has been happening for years here on the West Coast,
Yes.
right? But you saw, especially after Burning Man, the impact on the environment. And it's what kept me from going to Burning Man for many years and coming to the West Coast for many years, just like the feeling of extremity,
Mm-hmm.
that things needed to be explosive.
Mm.
And it is just a mirror for the lack of balance in our society and the ways in which the elements themselves, these perfectly balanced gifts to us from the universe,
Mm.
are an always perfect relationship and how we swing. And so for me, I went with the mission of the water. But I also had to tap into the fire. I also had to understand what that was, to be activated and energized, and to feel also like the buildup of, especially these last few years, of sacred rage.
Yes.
And how could I
Yes.
balance that? How could I balance that? How could I
Mm.
give ample space for my rage, my fire to come through? But then how could I also meet it with the water?
Mm.
And it's such a beautiful conversation, but I think it's even more beautiful to dance. And that's why I work with sound and music and movement, because the words are not going to do it for understanding this elemental alchemical balance. And that's the beauty of a sound journey or a movement journey or a musical journey or any
Mm-hmm.
journey, is that you are able to travel through all of the elements, all of the ridges and the spectrum of who you are and what you're here to do and bring.
Mm.
But I love that this starts with stoke your creative fire, because you have to start there, not just to activate and energize, but also
Right.
to purify,
Mhm.
also to illuminate. The fire does many things, it is both creator and destroyer. But you don't just stay here. It's not just about stoking it, it's about feeding it, maybe chilling it out a little bit,
Yeah.
you know? Like, you're not always stoking it because that's also exhausting.
Yes.
And so I think it's like this just beautiful moment for artists and all people to tap into their creativity. Is like, what do I need in this moment? What do
Yeah.
I need?
Mm. Oh my God, so many amazing things you just said in a short time. Try to unpack some of that for those who are listening. Just, I love the elements, and my I think my deepest connection to the earth is through dance, 100% for me. I mean, I love going out into the nature and being in the actual forest itself, and the beach and the ocean and the mountains and all the different elements. But on the dance floors where I explore all my elemental self as well. Very similar way we communicate about that. And you know, sometimes when I need my creative fire, it comes from, as Joy was saying, it comes from some sadness or some grief that I've unearthed during the fire dance or during the water dance or whatever dance we're doing, and I then bring it to some kind of other creative force, whether it's writing or singing. Or so it's kind of like the dance, enables all the different creative forms to come forth. And I feel that you are just we're in such a resonant space right here. We're all talking about this similar thing, but just the artful way that you are creating these spaces for people to heal, and your own self, and the elements and the earth and all the intersectionality that you're talking about. It's really what is absolutely necessary right now. That the sacred rage absolutely must be felt. And I do think that you're right that we are in a disintegration time where this rebuilding is what's going to create the new integration. And it's
Yeah.
going to the disintegration and the integration are constantly happening. And the more communities you create and we create and all the people who are watching the summit create, we're just making more positivity in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
And I think we don't get any of that kind of news. Like, in the regular world, we don't hear about this amazing project that you're working on or whatever. So I'm so excited that we can share this good news with the world. There are people doing amazing things.
It's so good. And it's exactly what you said. It's like we need to have more. We need to be generating more connections, more
Mm.
collaborations, more co creations. And why you don't hear about it in the news and why we're not taught or empowered for how
Of
to do
course.
that is because it is directly antithetical to the systems that we were born inside,
Yes.
namely
Yes.
capitalism,
Yes.
primarily competition.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in the interest of capitalism, our economic system, our primary economic system or political system, for us to be collaborative.
Right.
It's not. It's going to make it obsolete.
Right.
It's just
Exactly.
kind of like easy math. And so it's not like a conspiracy theory. It's just like this works this way and this works that way.
Right.
And the way it doesn't need to be a
Yeah.
conspiracy theory or even a political stance is like, how does that feel in my body?
Yes.
How does competition feel in my
Yeah.
intestines?
Terrible.
Like, in my blood pressure, my migraines. Like, what does that do for me at a very tangible, physical,
Mm.
material, three-dimensional, clear, objective reality? Like, how does
Mm.
that feel for me to be in collaboration, to be
Oh,
supported, to support another? Like, they are different vibrations. That's not hippie talk. That's not even neuroscience. That's
it's
just like
just right. You can feel it right now talking about it. As you're saying the word competition, we can just all feel our bodies
pressure.
collapse,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Pressure. And then when you say
Yeah,
collaboration, we're like, oh, hi.
you know.
Yeah. It's a no-brainer. It's a body. It's a
It's
body.
embodied intelligence, and that's the work we're doing, and that's going to give us all of the information we need to move
Mhm.
the needle forward on our evolution. It's coming and it's here, but that's why the music and the dance and the celebration and the tears, the pain, the pleasure, all of it is vital because all of it is embodied intelligence.
Mm.
Oh, I
And
love
we
that.
are a mirror for the earth. So we don't have to think about now, how do I save the earth or how do I generate sustainability? It's like, if I can do that for me,
Yes.
she will do that for her, and we're good.
Mm.
It's easy.
I
There's work
know.
involved, but it's
Yes.
it's it's easier than it's been.
I feel that. Every
Yeah.
time I go outside, I have a little garden this year. I made a little garden during the pandemic. I built my own because I was like, I better learn how to grow food. So I built myself a garden in my yard and I like got, chicken wire and I was out there with I loved it. It was so fun. I'm like hammering stakes down. I'm like, I can do this. It was so fun. And now I have like right now, like it's already late September and I have so many tomatoes that are about to turn and I'm so excited. Like, I can't believe it. And I have celery. It's like, I better cut this. Like, but just seeing how the earth, and that was just like little bits of my little baby farm, right? My baby farm. But the
Yeah.
earth is just a giver of life. It's just this incredible, like, just opened up to us at all times. And that's how I feel about music. It's like music gives me life, collaboration gives us life. And it's been so amazing talking to you. And what do you have coming up? I'm just so curious. If you don't mind sharing, we could maybe collaborate and come to some events that you're doing.
Yes. Well, it's such a powerful moment. I feel really grateful we're connecting right before the equinox. That feels very special.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in a very alchemical moment, as we all are, as we shift seasons, as we close a cycle, as we open
Mm.
one, as we tap into this frequency of balance. I am creating music and meditating on, and healing, growing the garden, feeding myself good, resting good, drinking water, staying hydrated,
Mm-hmm.
doing all the things we need to be doing to be strong and sustainable.
Ah, here's what I was looking for.
Meditating on what this new paradigm of gatherings looks like. I've stepped away from producing experiences. I produced for many years in New York and Brooklyn through our collective, uh,
Mm-hmm.
powerful mini one night transformational festivals, almost experiences. But I've stepped away from production to really meditate and recalibrate on what like a new paradigm of gathering looks like that is more collaborative, more
Ah,
integrative,
yes.
more holistic. I
Mm.
know Joy has like been weaving this incredible work that I feel so grateful to be a part of. The Ecstatic Dance New Jersey community, just thinking more about more in more subtle, speaking more subtle languages with each other,
Mm.
healing, like traveling a little layer deeper. I think the collective is ready for that now.
Absolutely. I'm so with you. Wow. Yeah, this year I actually decided that I could no longer be, like Toni Bergins, creator of JourneyDance anymore. So now I'm doing it still, but I brought in much more people, and we're doing collaborative teaching, and every program is collaborative teaching, and more people holding spaces, and more staff, and more, because we need it, because people are healing, people are ready to let go. So as they let go more, we need more sacred container holders, and more representation, and more of everything, just so that people can feel safe, and see themselves in the work, and all of us heal together. So I'm
Yeah.
with you on that collaboration. I'm so happy that you're taking time to do that. It feels very deep, and just that connection. Clearly, you're a channel. You're taking wisdom. We talk about this a lot, taking wisdom down and through, and how we do that all differently. Like, I'm the most channeled when I'm in the dance moment. Like, that's when I channel the best. And I do private work with people, but when I really am in the moment and I know I'm channeling, it's because the music took me someplace and I went there. So I know you understand that. So this is like very deep to talk to another person. The three of us all very similar in that way. And Joy with her sounding and music
Yeah.
was also her sounds.
Yeah,
And I
this is
think also what you're doing is awakening folks, whoever gets to listen and tune into this, this frequency will, what I pray is that there is you remember that you are a channel. We are all
Mm.
channels. And that also, we don't necessarily have to wait for the song or the dance or even the gathering to do or be that. And that our constant
Mm.
practice, remembrance, return is to come back to the true embodied knowledge, wisdom, understanding, belief, trust, and faith that we are channels and that we are healing infinite generations when we reclaim that capacity, that
Mm.
power, that ability, that gift.
yes. Yes,
Mm.
but that's what I was going to ask. That was going to be my last question to you was, what is your prayer for the world?
That is it.
You just did it.
That's it. That's my prayer. That's my prayer, that we remember that we are channels. I think that, um, it's a deeper conversation around the like material realities of our world, right? The class system, the economic system, the
Mhm.
culture system, the color system, everything. Um, in which, like, very intentionally, most human beings were disconnected from that truth. That truth was taken from us
Mhm.
and extracted from us and burned at the stake
Mm,
in us and stolen from us and lied to us that we are channels and that we are powerful and we're powerful.
Absolutely.
The majority of humans
yeah.
have had this trauma.
Yes.
And so that's my prayer, that we can all
Mm.
read that, but that use that for good, use that for healing. Because
Yeah.
so far it's been a very, it's been the top of the pyramid. It's been right here where only a few certain people can tap into their channel to
Mm.
generate and accumulate more and more and more and more and more.
Mm.
So that's why the collaboration is so powerful. It's like
Mm.
we like turn the pyramid,
Yes. Yes.
you know,
Ooh, I like when we do
Yes.
that. Oh, turn it.
Mm.
and remember
Yes.
it is
Into
a
the
water
body.
temple.
Yeah.
Oh,
We are all getting fed from the same source, and that we
Mm.
all deserve abundance. That's all our birthright, and we all deserve a beautiful creative life, and that beauty surrounds us in all moments if we seek it, and if we can create it. If it's not there, then it's our responsibility to generate it and
ooh,
to transmit it.
yes.
Mm.
It is us. We are it.
Wow, I love that.
I love
To
the water
transmit
channel.
it.
Yeah. Creating experiences for people to really come home to their essence, their creative fires, and to feel that they're part of something much larger. The ocean
Yes.
reminds
Mm.
us of that. The waters and the fires. So how can we all find you? All the people that are
Yes.
watching. How can they learn more about what you're doing, what you're bringing to the world, your music, your experiences? And we're going to drop that below as well in
Yeah, I'm so
the
grateful
links.
for that, that share, that spread of the fire. That's healthy. I've been spending a lot of time on Instagram. I like Instagram. It's been that's such a. I used to be very resistant, but seeing how it connects so many folks from around the world and how we can harness it in a powerful way is really empowering. I love Instagram right now.
Great. How do we follow you on Instagram?
Instagram's fun, and SoundCloud. I'll be uploading more there. We have a collective Bay Instagram that's going to get regenerated and be more of a platform space for people to tune in and plug in and empower themselves through the community that we've built and co-created. And then I hope to come to a piece of earth near you. That's it.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
I'll be at the this is a great time to share. I'll be at the Sacred Union Retreat in Pennsylvania with
Oh,
Joy.
yes.
Toni, you'll be there.
I think so. I have to get more information on this. Let me hear. When is the Sacred Union?
October 14th through 16th.
That's
All
right.
The
right.
collaborative initiative.
Oh my goodness, it's going to
Yeah.
be so
All of the
fun.
coming
Reunion
together
within.
of tribes, and I'll be coming back from the West Coast specifically for that. So that's the one of the few times I'll be on the East Coast actually for the next through the end of the year.
All right, everybody. So you want to meet Dreamy, you better come to Sacred Union Festival, October. That's going to be like next week because we're going to be dropping this interview like right first week of October. So perfect timing. All right, everyone's able to move so quickly these days. Like people don't plan 6 months in advance anymore. It's like what's happening this weekend? I'm there, right? It's like
I think
such
that's the embodied intelligence where
yeah,
like
time.
Oh,
feels
embodied
good.
intelligence. I love
Yeah,
that.
what feels good, we're doing that. So
Yes.
if you feel that call, if something in you is like, I do want to deepen the union within me and
Mm.
all elements around me, not just masculine, feminine, but all of the layers that I am and that I am in interaction with and relation with, then I think this will really be one of the most powerful places to do that. So, Sacred Union, October 14 to 16,
Oh.
we'll be there.
And what else do we have coming up for you?
I'll be on
The
the West
Bay.
Coast for these next few weeks. Bay is turning 6 years old on October 19th.
Oh,
Great.
We'll have we'll do something in New York City, our home base. We'll do something probably in Brooklyn, and that will be beautiful coming together of the conscious communities of New York, of like the really like grassroots rooted, multicultural, diverse, accessible,
Mm.
um, real, grounded
oh yeah.
Sounds so good.
collectives of New York, and that'll be October. Probably around October 19 will be 6 years old, the collective. So
Oh yes.
that just came very clear yesterday, which is exactly a month from now.
Great. So we're going to make sure that
Congratulations.
underneath this
Yes.
interview, you're going to have all the ways you can connect and find the beautiful, dreamy Reem. And we will I'm so looking forward to meeting you in person in the real. It's going to be super fun.
Yes, we're gonna dance deep.
Yes. Oh my God.
Deep
I
dance.
feel your depth.
Oh, what an amazing experience of a conversation and just talking about the ways in which we connect and can expand together with this creative work that we're all doing. Oh, wow. So we're going to just say goodbye for now with a
So
big wah.
thank you so much for being
Yeah.
on this amazing I feel so grateful that you were here. So I'm in gratitude. We'll do a moi, our ceremonial moi. We go moi like that. Here we go. Ready? Moi. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
everybody will see you for some more interviews. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much, Dreamy.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Wow, that was so amazing. I just want to tell everybody, so Dreamy has a SoundCloud and it is SoundCloud/Dreemy, DreeEEMY. Gorgeous, like full on playlists, journeys for movement. She's a spoken word artist. I mean, that was so many amazing concepts came through in that, and I just felt the agelessness of her as a spirit, like I could feel it, and it was so soothing and yet inspiring, like both It was both
Yes.
intriguing and powerful and soothing and calming and like so many things. Just such an electric person.
Yeah, she's I love the first when we met her even before we came on the interview, she said, "How is your heart?"
I
I
know.
mean,
It's
she
so
just
wonderful.
drops in right away and she uses her tools in her life. I think it's just so much a part of her. The creativity is a part of her. It's coming through her. And I'm so excited to see more and more of the next generation bring
Hmm.
forth the creativity in the world as a
I
power
love
to
that.
heal.
Yeah,
It's a part of them.
it is. One of my biggest takeaways was that, she was talking about agelessness and, you know, just doing you fully, like being yourself fully in a sense, and not even worrying about that because we're here as channels. And I love that we were talking about channeling, and I love when she said everyone is a channel. We've been cut off from our channels because of the society and power structures, but we can reclaim these things through creativity, through the movement arts, through the vocal arts, through the writing, through all the ways that we are creative. So I'm so grateful for so many things that she said, and I hope that we'll all join her at some events or follow her on Instagram, which is also dreamy. And Joy, do you have anything else you want to add before we close today's interview?
Yeah, I'm just super excited to see it's proof that there is there's a lot of hope in the world when you see someone out
Mm,
there creating spaces for women, inclusivity. The drive is really about getting people back together to their core essence and turning their angst to art on
yeah,
a
and
regular basis.
and honoring the earth and all the things that she was talking about, so resonant with with all the things that we think about, and just so happy to see, that good news. It's like all, and of course there's so many things happening in the world, so just to keep hope alive, like you just said, just to keep hope alive and know that there's amazing people doing amazing things
Absolutely.
all the time that we don't even know about because we just met them, right? Or something like that. So just remember that as you go out into the world, and big hugs to everybody. We'll see you at
Yeah.
the next interview. Stoke your creative fire. Turn your angst into art. We'll be sharing more about what we do down the lane. Here we go.
There we go.